flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Irby?
Here.
Councilmember Page?
Here.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Here.
Councilmember Gray?
Present.
Councilmember Dolan?
Here.
Councilmember Tracas?
Present.
Councilmember Harder? Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
I move for approval of the journal of the meeting of January 3rd, 2018.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Journal's approved. We have no bid openings tonight, so we'll move to communications.
Mr. Chair, there are no tax compromises, zoning matters, or road and bridge matters this evening, so we'll move to other communications. Under other communications, item number 1.
Receive and file, same motion for item number 2, and that will be the order.
Item number 3, all districts.
Hold on the order of business.
Item number 4, all districts.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
Item number 5.
Receive, file, and county council will be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 6, second district.
Receive and file, and that will be the order. And I appreciate the response from the TSA here in St. Louis. I understand they will be performing a security audit of Metrolink starting in February. It's my hope that the TSA will incorporate the concerns of the county council, that the absence of a contract with Metrolink and county police does create and add to confusion about the safety and security on Metrolink, and that certainly does not inspire confidence among our constituents. Next item.
Item number 7, second district.
Receive and file, and the county council will be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 8, second district.
Receive, file, contract in an amount not to exceed $1,039,578.69 be awarded to LF Krupp Construction, Inc., the lowest responsive bidder as recommended, and the authorization for revision to the existing traffic control devices be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 9, 6th district.
Receive, file, contract in amount not to exceed $1,467,564.39 be approved and awarded to LF Krupp Construction Incorporated, the lowest responsive bidder, as recommended. An authorization for revision of the existing traffic control devices be approved as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Please read the add-ons.
Yes, sir. Item number 1, 4th district.
Add-ons.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
Item number 2, 4th district.
Same motion for item number 2.
So ordered for both motions.
Item number 3, 7th district.
Receive, file, and the county counselor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Mr. Chair, we'll have the record reflect that Councilman Harder did join the meeting.
Councilwoman Gray? Yes.
Oh, I was already here.
No, Councilman Harder
Oh, I'm sorry.
wasn't here on roll call.
Thank you. Report of the county executive.
Nothing further this evening?
Report of special committees.
Mr. Chair, can I be recognized only
Yes.
to point out my own mistake? And actually, we have, this committee is actually chaired by Vice Chair Irby, and so she has requested we to do a final review of this report.
Okay, sounds good.
So I think she would want to make a motion to hold it.
Yes, please hold.
So ordered.
And I apologize for that error.
Public forum.
We have two speakers this evening, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. When your name is called, please come forward to the podium and state your name and your address for the record. And try to keep your comments to 3 minutes. First speaker.
First speaker this evening is Diane McKenna.
I have handouts if you want to distribute those.
I'll start the timer after you get back.
My name is Diane McKenna. I live at 4309 Sunridge, St. Louis, Missouri, 63125. Good evening, County Executive, Mr. Stinger, and council members. What I say tonight and the issues I address relate only to the Department of Public Health, because that is where I have worked for the last 19 years and 11. Retired from St. Louis County on December 1st, 2017, because I could no longer continue to work in a hostile and toxic work environment. I have given you a copy of the following, a copy of what I am presenting tonight, a copy of the letter I've sent to Dr. Khan regarding my resignation and early retirement, a copy of the memo that Dr. Khan sent to the Department of Public Health staff in 2015, announcing my acceptance into the quality improvement position, a copy of the letter to the Director of Personnel requesting an investigation into my proposed job layoff, and a copy of the cost of reduction analysis that was presented and given to Dr. Khan during the first quarter of 2016. I think it's important in light of the many discussions, issues, and concerns that have been expressed by all of you that you have a copy of this information which explains in greater detail what I am going to present here and why I chose to retire after hiring a lawyer and my own personal expense to remain employed until February of 2018. I'm not going to specify names or positions as I speak tonight. However, I can provide evidence to support the information that I present tonight if anyone is in doubt of any of my statements. My first comments are that DPH is a very broken department. I do believe it is in crisis and that many things need to change, beginning at the top. In my opinion, this department needs leadership, trust, and respect. There has been a great deal of discussion over the 2018 budget and whether or not the county is financially sound or not. County executive has quoted numerous times that there is no crisis. He states that taxes will not be raised and services will not be cut. In a December 21st publication, it states in referring to the DPH budget that cuts at the health department came with a council caveat that services could not be cut to the health centers in North County. Reading between the lines, this leaves the South County Health Center on the chopping block. In a recent article, Mr. TRAKAS made the comment in reference to the county's fund balance that the county is not an effectively run entity. He stated, in absence of some changes in either revenue or services and programs, the county is upside down by 2019, if not already. So here's where I wish to begin my comments. We must start running this county as a business and with our heads and stop fearing we are going to lose some votes. This is a business, run it like a business. Stop arguing about a need for an additional auditor, suing the county executive. We need to work together for the citizens of St. Louis County because that is what you have been elected to do. So if we are not in a crisis, how is the following justified? Salaries have been stagnated and no raises or increases have been received in over the last 5 years for county employees. Positions are not being replaced due to hiring freezes. The county has a pay plan and a job classification system that is not followed or respected. The pay plan is out of control and special pay increases are being given to employees on a monthly basis, ranging anywhere from 5, 10, to 33% increase at the approval of the Civil Service Commission because a supervisor or a department head makes the request. And we cannot maintain a competent workforce. The turnover rate is unbelievable. We lose new employees within a year's time. The money spent on recruitment, orientation is staggering, only to lose those employees within the first 1 to 2 years because they can find higher paying jobs elsewhere. You state that we are going to manage the budget through attrition. How and why do you think this is going to work? Unproductive employees don't leave, and you will always find the need to replace key employees. You cannot run a productive, efficient department with quality and positive outcomes if you don't replace the people who need to be replaced in key positions. So you will replace those key positions. So now you have not gained anything as far as the budget, but have spent more due to recruitment, interviewing, and so on. Unproductive employees don't leave. Why should they? We have a personnel department that lacks the ability to deal with performance issues. This department is biased, racist, and fails to enforce the behavioral rules for fear of being sued instead of focusing on problem staff. Why do we need individual personnel departments in different departments throughout St. Louis County? It is duplication of services and very costly. One personnel department should serve the St. Louis County and all of its departments. This would provide the uniform civil service rule enforcement and employee counseling and performance. Poor and bad employee performance would be addressed universally, and employees would have the opportunity to see more than one individual in any given manner. No one wants to step up.
I'm going to have to interrupt you for just a second. It appears that you're reading this to us, and we've got about 10 pages to go. Could you summarize your thoughts? And I think the council members might have some questions. We're quite a bit over your time, and
I thought we had unlimited time.
You know, we have 3 minutes for speakers, but I think what you're saying is important, and I don't want to lose the concept or lose it to follow-up. But I would like for you to try and summarize your thoughts, and then let's see if the council members have any questions for you.
Okay, well, it's in front of you. You can finish reading it. You can ask me questions. I will be glad to summarize. What I'm saying is, we are in crisis. I was hired, my position was, I led the health center department, health center manager at South County for 18 years. My position was eliminated. I was asked to be the quality improvement coordinator at Department of Health. In 4 months, I went there. I was quickly removed from doing anything with clinical services because they felt that I was stepping on toes. We presented multiple issues to cut costs and services. It was led on deaf ears. All of that is in here. I don't know what you want me to summarize. It's in here.
Okay.
Whatever
well,
you want to do.
I think we'll continue this conversation. It's important. But let's see if anyone else has any questions, and we can follow up or we can continue this discussion. Anyone have any follow-up questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
You say in here that the animal shelter is now no longer under the Department of Health, that is under county administration?
Yes, because of all the issues that the Animal Control Center had with the animal activists coming in, they outsourced people, or they made certain people leave. There was multiple issues in the animal control. It used to be entirely under the division of the Department of Public Health. It's no longer there. It's run by the administrative department.
Thank you.
Councilman Tracus.
Thank you. Ms. McKenna, in your letter to Dr. Khan, you state that you were working in a hostile and toxic environment.
Yes.
If you're at liberty to do so, can you describe that for us?
Dr. Khan would not even, when we would walk down the hall, he would purposely walk out of his way in order to avoid any contact, any kind of greeting with me. He had no acknowledgement of any kind of contributions I made to the department. He was just very rude, very hostile, made no acknowledgement of anything that I did for the department or that I contributed to the department.
You go on and state that you tried very hard to respect Dr. Khan, but that he made it impossible for you to do so.
Yeah, because of that.
Because of that, what you just
Because of
described?
that, yeah. I mean, I worked 18 years and I felt like I had done a great job working as the health center manager.
Was Dr. Khan your direct supervisor?
Pardon me?
Was Dr. Khan your direct supervisor?
He didn't come into effect until 2000,
No, I mean, when you wrote this letter,
when I wrote the letter
Yeah.
for,
December 1st, 2017. Was he
Yes.
your direct supervisor?
he was not my direct supervisor. He was a department director.
I know that, but, so you had no direct interaction with him on a regular basis as your supervisor?
I don't know, I don't really quite understand he was over the Department of Quality Improvement. He controlled what we did.
But you didn't work directly underneath him?
No, there was a supervisor in between us.
Okay. That's all I have, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Next speaker is Tom Sullivan.
Thank you, Mr.
Mr. Chairman, I have a few things to mention, mainly having to do with how the council operates in areas I think you need to give more attention to this year. First of all, the council needs to update its rules. We started on this nearly a year ago, but it went by the wayside, as did many things last year. One thing I think needs to be done is the time for council meetings needs to be moved back to a later time, perhaps 6:30. Citizens have been complaining about this for some time. Getting to Clayton from Spanish Lake or Oakville during rush hour can be quite a challenge. The agenda could use some improvements. The costs involved for proposed contracts are not always listed. The various bid amounts are not listed at all. Professional contracts need more scrutiny. Some have been pretty questionable. A protocol is needed on how to handle appointments. Resumes and applications should be made public. They should have a separate agenda item. The appointments need much more scrutiny. An appointment to an important commission was approved by the council for someone accused of sexual harassment. The lawsuit against him was settled out of court and records were sealed. There needs to be rules on substitute bills. Introducing sub-bills 2 hours before a council meeting is not only legally questionable, but a bad way to do business. At the end of every University City Council meeting, there are council comments. A council member can bring up any issues that they care to. This council might do the same. The council needs to keep track of county personnel. Just last week, I obtained a list from MSD of all current personnel listed by name, department, job title, salary or rate of pay, and date of hire. The council needs to do the same for county personnel. Last year, Proposition P was passed in April. County executive proposed his pay plan for police in June. And in November, there were still council members surprised at the pay for some county employees. I don't think the whole matter of pay raises could have been handled much worse. There are still questions about the Northwest leases that need to be answered. One way to stay on top of matters and provide oversight is to request department directors report more frequently to the council at council meetings. For example, the Jamestown Mall redevelopment will probably take longer than it took to build the Transcontinental Railroad. For the past 3 years, little information has been given on the project. That should be a top priority. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Tom.
No more speakers, Mr. Chair.
That concludes the public forum. Please proceed with introduction of bills.
Bill number 7, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a grant of up to $170,147.92 from the Missouri Secretary of State, appropriating the same for support of election improvements and authorizing the county executive to execute necessary documents. Bill number 8, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a grant of up to $20,000 from the United States Food and Drug Administration, appropriating the same for support of the new food code implementation project, and authorizing the execution of related documents, including an amendment to the contract authorized by ordinance number 25,621 pertaining to the said project. Bill number 9, introduced by Councilmember Page, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a contract with Account Resolution Corporation for account collection services for the Department of Public Health. Bill number 10, introduced by Councilmember Harder, an ordinance amending Chapter 102, Title 2, St. Louis County Revised Ordinances 1974 as amended County Council by repealing and reenacting Section 102.030 pertaining to regular meetings of the County Council. Mr. Chair, that is all the bills.
Perfection.
Bill number 305, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Please hold Bill 305.
Bill
Bill-
30
I'm sorry.
Bill 305 is held.
Bill number 307, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Please hold.
Bill number 307 is held.
Bill number 350, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
Please hold.
Bill number 350 is held.
Bill number 1, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect Bill number 1.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 1 is perfected.
Is that bill number 3 or
Bill number,
1?
Bill number 1, 2018. I appreciate your vigilance, always.
We appreciate the thumbs up. Bill number 2, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to hold Bill number 2, and Bill number 2 is held.
Bill number 3, introduced by Councilmember Page.
Move to perfect Bill number 3.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 3 is perfected.
Bill number 4, introduced by Councilmember Walton Gray.
Move to perfect Bill number 4.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 4 is perfected.
Bill number 5, introduced by Councilmember TRAKAS.
Move to perfect Bill number 5, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 5 is perfected.
Bill number 6, introduced by Councilmember TRAKAS.
Move to perfect Bill number 6.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 6 is perfected. Final passage.
Bill number 353, introduced by Councilmember Page.
We hold Bill number 353, and Bill number 353 will be held. We'll have a committee of the whole at 4 p.m. Next Tuesday to discuss this bill.
Yes, sir. Bill number 355, introduced by Councilmember Harder.
Move for final passage of Bill number 355.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan? Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on bill number 355, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 355 is finally passed.
Bill number 356, introduced by Councilmember Wassinger.
I move for final passage of bill number 356.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Page?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger?
Aye.
Councilmember Gray?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Tracus?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, on bill number 356, there are 7 ayes.
Bill number 356 is finally passed.
Moving on to resolutions, Mr. Chair, we have one this evening. Resolution number 1, introduced by Councilmember Walton Gray.
move to hold, there should be two resolutions.
We received one in the packet. I don't know.
Okay.
Last second, sorry.
Okay, resolution number 1 will be held.
Two on the agenda.
I know, but you'd have to ask the county council's office, that councilwoman.
I'm saying, okay, well, what I need to ask?
I just don't know about the status of it from the county
On the
council.
add-ons,
No, it's not an add.
Are you asking me?
She's here to ask you.
No, I said I don't have any information about that because the county council's office would have drafted that and included it in the packet. It didn't come in the packet, so I don't know what the status is.
We were making changes up to 5:45, and then my office was alerted that you would not be presenting that tonight.
Okay.
'Cause there were suggested edits coming in that. as
Right, we
late
were
as-
gonna hold it.
Right.
Okay, but I wanted the council to have a copy of it.
Well, we were discussing, Mr. Weaver and I were on the telephone together, and he was in my office as late as 5:15 working on edits.
Right,
And we made those edits and submitted the resolution, to Mr. Weaver. What he did with it after that, I don't know, but he did not tell me to get copies made for distribution.
okay.
But we can have that distributed to the council members anytime you like.
Okay, I got it.
Moving on to unfinished business, Mr. Chair, item number 1.
hold on the order of business, the motion for item number 2, and that will be the order.
Now, moving on to new business, Mr. Chair, we have 2 prepared orders this evening.
I move for adoption of orders number 1 and 2.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Orders 1 and 2 adopted.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.